Just come sit here. Good morning, fellows. We're going to continue learning Leilu Nishmas, David ben Shimon ve'Esther, Yisrusi again Aleinu, and also Leilu Nishmas, Noach's father, Zelig ben Zev. Yesterday, we began discussing this word, kamocha, kamocha. Ve'afta l'reacha kamocha. It's got to be like you. Tom and I were discussing this the other morning. How do you really figure out how to love yourself, and what does that mean to love yourself? Well, yesterday we came up with some interesting things, very interesting things. And that was the concept of understanding that we kind of do love ourselves, even though we're so big on saying we don't know how, we're not sure if we do. Really, essentially, we do love ourselves. For instance, you chose to come to learn this morning. That must mean that you kind of love yourself. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't give yourself the privilege of basking in the light of Torah. So just by sitting here, what does that mean? It doesn't just mean I did the right thing, or I did the right Jewish thing. It means I must like myself. I must care about myself. I must be interested in taking care of my soul. It must mean that at a certain level, I do love myself. We always say the word love we always translate to mean I accept who I am. I accept a lot of people. I don't know if I love them. I accept different things in the world. I don't know if I love it. But loving yourself, we're completely revolutionizing that concept of the v'afta kamocha. So yesterday what we began learning from this beautiful piece over here is that just like I love myself without any I don't have any conditions on, if I nourish my physical self, I don't say, what was the example we gave yesterday? I don't debate and say, do I deserve to have food right now if I'm hungry? Let's see, do I deserve to have food right now? I know my blemishes. Maybe I really don't deserve to have food. Who talks like that? Or I'm so tired, but I was really a bad boy today. I don't deserve to sleep. Who speaks like that? No one does, right? We do it anyway. Why? Because we naturally do love ourselves. When it comes to the concept of, I'll be good to myself. If I'm good to myself, it must mean that I love myself despite whatever the cheshbon of blemishes or of good things that I've done. I don't get into that cheshbon. It's not part of my calculation of, do I deserve any good? So yesterday we were saying, that's probably why the pasuk says that Hashem is so big on v'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, the love that you have for yourself, which is not calculated love. It's ahava she'ena tluya b'davar. It's not dependent on anything. So too, we were learning yesterday, that is the kind of love that needs to be worked on towards other people. Not calculated love. Not love based on, I could see they deserve it or they don't deserve it. Nothing to do with that. And we were learning that that's the kind of love of the avodah, on the avodas Hashem level, on the working of yourself level. That's what we're talking about. We're trying to squeeze that, we're trying to make, not squeeze the hefech, we're trying to pour that love where it's not dependent on anything, just like you would do it to yourself. Kamocha v'ahavta l'reacha. Just like you don't ask yourself questions, do you deserve a shluf or not when you're exhausted? So too, that kind of framework of how I view the concept of love and wanting to do good for others, that's what I pour onto others. So it's a beautiful, it actually is a beautiful chiddush, if you think about it. V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. Does that make that stems for now? Yeah, Eli.
It's Abba's chinam, it's chesed, but pure chesed. Not because it's undeserved.
Undeserved chesed. Okay. So now, what we're going to be doing now is we're going to go back into this ma'amar of the Tzemach Tzedek that we began last week about Ahavat Yisrael. I think on all your pages, it's on the bottom. It says, Ka'et ne'ayem bi'uro shel Rabbi Tzemach Tzedek. So now we're continuing. We began this discourse last week about the mitzvah of Ahavat Yisrael. Remember, the beginning of this discourse was him quoting the Arizal, explaining that Yisrael is sod guf echad, the secret of one body. And we're one big body with a bunch of different limbs all over the place, but it's limbs in the same body. Now that was the first part of the Ma'amar. Now he's continuing there, so I'm just going to put one thing in. Remember when that ger wants to be Gayer, and he comes before Hillel, and he says, he comes before Shammai Hillel, but he comes before Hillel, and he says, teach me the whole Torah on one foot. So what does Hillel tell him? What's hated upon you, don't do to your friend. So give me a question on that. What could have he said? Or just change exact lashon. Mashe ahuv alecha taseh lechavercha.
Yeah, but that's really
people don't like the same
What's
things.
that?
I might like something, but that doesn't mean Toby likes it.
Very good.
Scratch my belly or something. Don't touch my belly.
Okay, wait, hold on a second. Let's plug it in. Let's plug that logic into the other statement that was said. What's hated upon you, don't do to your friend.
Right, that's safe.
Why? It's safer. Not necessarily. It's not safe. What's the problem with that statement? Because there could be things that I personally hate, right, that maybe someone else would love.
But at least then you're Sheva Altasa. You haven't done
Right, nachon. But you hear the question makes sense. It's like, if he's coming to Hillel, he's saying teach me the Torah, we think, wow, it's going to be such a beautiful high moment of revelation of what the Torah is about. And he says, what's hated upon you, don't do to somebody else. Where he could have said, wow, that thing which you love, right? Love others with. Or whatever it is. It could have been a lashon that's much more filled with love and positivity, bichlal, right? So it's a very interesting question. And we're going to, in the Ma'amar right now, we're going to be learning right now, we're going to see a little bit this word kamocha. How you got to love yourself, what that actually means. Because I don't think that we really understand what that means. Because most of us don't love ourselves, so how are we going to love other people? So we have to redefine this concept of what loving ourselves actually truly means. Accepting yourself, that seems like shtuyot, almost like I can accept that. That's a lifelong thing until I fully accept myself, right? People go through so much till they accept themselves. We have to understand, inside, what this is talking about. So look inside. This is the Tzemach Tzedek's words. Ka'et ne'ayem bebiuro shel Rabbi Tzemach Tzedek. This is so amazing. Eli, Ashgacha Pratis, you're here with us today. You'll see. כמו שאין אדם רואה חוב לעצמו, אין הפירוש שאינו יודע כלל חובותיו. So just like a person doesn't see himself as someone that's living in debt, right? אין הפירוש שאינו יודע כלל חובותיו doesn't mean that he doesn't know of his debts. We'll explain this in a second. אדרבה, יוכל לראות ולהבין היטב עמקות פחיתותו יותר מראיית זולתו עליו. On the contrary, a person can live a life that he knows, he sees dark places inside of him what no one else can see. All right? Kind of like the way we are right now in this room, with the masks we showed up with today. It's not a bad thing, it's just the way that the world... Imagine if we walked in here maskless. It'd be insane, right? So just like, I have no idea how low you think about yourself today, or I have no idea about the stuff that you know you did last night, or the thoughts you had this morning, or whatever it is. You know about them quite well. However, that's not the way that you look at yourself. When you think of yourself this morning, that's not the way you're thinking about it, even though you're aware of it. You're aware of it much more than I'll ever be aware of what's that dark place that you know about yourself. You know, I once was part of this group of chevra, kind of similar to what we're trying to do here, but a long time ago in Yerushalayim, and we was just tasting it. And they were saying that they want to be able to have a group of friends that they could come to a circle, kind of like the beginning of what the Piaseczner is speaking about, and that each person in the circle basically shares the darkest, ugliest things about themselves. But at a certain point, it just became an avodah zarah about how much darkness can I show, right? And how far can we go there? And people thought, well, that would be, you know, we'll just share it, and that'll show that we feel safe, and that's enough, and it's not enough. Meaning, there's a reason why Hashem didn't write our emotions on our forehead. There's a reason why it's inside, right? So, without understanding why it's like that, what he's saying over here is that a person knows how much he's in debt. What does that mean? Chov atzmo. I know what I need to do. Like each of us he knows here, you know, on a deep level, some ugly stuff about themselves, right? Hashem should help us with having enough courage to look at it straight in the face. Straight in the face, like Rav Kook says, put it on the easel, and now start drawing. That's what Rav Kook writes in Orasa Tshuva, right? Put it on the easel, and just stare there for a while, you know? We have a friend, you know, the Baal Korah on Shabbos, the one that looks like the hippest, coolest dude, but if you don't look at him while he's laning, you think you're in Borough Park of Williamsburg, because it's the way Avi Hirschberg lanes, like a old Hasidic Yid from the yesteryear. So Avi's parents, I used to live right next to Avi's parents in Nachlaot, border of Shaare Chesed in Yerushalayim, for a few years. His parents are both artists, incredible artists actually. His father's a prolific artist, Izzy Hirschberg. His mother used to stand for hours. Remember her, Jeremy? Short woman? She used to stand. You ever see her do this? No. She used to stand for hours on our street, either on Betzalel or on Evan Sapir, where we were living. And she used to stand with an easel for hours. I never saw anyone do this. And then I realized it's my friend's mother. It was one of them. I felt so cool that I knew someone that works with an easel, you know? But I was looking one time, at her, the way her avoda, it's such an avoda of focus. What focus? What kind of like centering your energy you got to be to put that which is here right there. Okay, so each of us have the opportunity to do that all the time. We all know the chov atzmo. And yet, that doesn't take away from the way that we generally treat ourselves. However, if I knew what I know about myself, about others, do you think I treat the other guy the same way? You hear the question? When I know it about myself, I somehow am able to still just take care of myself and love myself. Yeah, I have some inner turmoil, but I still let myself have food, I still let myself sleep, I even indulge in things that are entertaining, even though I probably don't think I'm worthy of it, I don't think about it too much. If I knew the dark places about me that I knew about someone else, what would that cause the way that I think and look at them? So you could already see where he's going with this. Masha sanui alecha, al taseh lechaverecha. What does that mean? That which is hated upon you, the way of looking at yourself like that, which is a hated thing upon yourself, al taseh lechaverecha. It's gewalt chiddush, right? What a Torah. What a Torah. What I said right now, we're going to explain much deeper right now. I want to say again, read the mimer again from the beginning. And guys, this is worth extra hishtadlus right now, extra focusing, okay? It's worth it. Maybe the phone could go off for 10 minutes. Chas v'shalom, but maybe. It's worth it. Trust me. Mamish. It's chaval to give ourselves the chance to go somewhere and like have something buzzing, going like this every 2 seconds, while the Tzemach Tzedek is basically giving us a recipe for maybe preventing Tisha B'Av. Could be. Look what he says here. Kmo she'en adam רואה חוב לעצמו, just like a person doesn't look, he doesn't see a חוב לעצמו. He doesn't see, I'm in debt. אין הפירוש שאינו יודע כלל חובותיו. Doesn't mean that he doesn't know of his חובות. Doesn't mean that he's not aware of the places that really he should be better and he's in debt. Adraba, on the contrary, all the more so. Yuchal לראות ולהבין היטב עמקות פחיתותו. He can actually see the depth of how low he really is. יותר מראיית זולתו עליו, more than when someone else looks at him. Okay? שהרי זולתו אינו רואה אלא לעינים. Because when I look at you, I can guess and I can assume what's going on inside of you, but I'm basically judging the way I look at you on what I see. I judge what I think about you based on what I see. If I see you go and do an avera, it would probably change the way I think about you, unfortunately. But I don't really know where you're at. That's all I'm at is based on what you look like today. Ela הכוונה, but rather it means שאין החוב תופס מקום אצלו כלל להתפעל מזה. Rather it means that the chov, this indebtedness that you have inside, אינו תופס מקום אצלו כלל להתפעל מזה. It doesn't, how do you say this? It doesn't
result in any action.
It doesn't result in action. It doesn't grab space and say, you should be amazed by who you are. It doesn't do that. I'm not in shock. It doesn't make me, what did you say, it doesn't result in changing the way that I treat myself. It doesn't result in not loving myself anymore. Actually, it's as if I don't even see it. Now, not at the risk of getting very depressed right now, okay? You guys up for that? We like doing that here. Yeah. At the risk of getting very depressed and yet having enough koach to listen a chavura, like the PSS has been telling us, right? Can anyone find a chov in himself right now? That if he really focused on that, would you think you're worthy to come here to sit at a shir learning, basking in the light of the tzaddikim? Okay, this is not a question you're supposed to say yes. I'm just saying, putting it out there to go inside right now, okay? Obviously, I'm not waiting for the person to say, and it is the avera of... no. It's happened many times. Like I don't like explain the way I'm trying to teach, right? So I'll say, can anyone here imagine, like, if they actually were in touch with the depth of darkness that they did this morning, and like the real tnimistic hippies are like, oh my God, and then they'll say what they did, right? It's like, no, I didn't mean, and it's like I didn't mean to go all the way there, right? I guess that chevra I told you about before, like they wanted to go to that place, but so I remember one time I was in Achlo teaching in Simchat Shlomo. It was like 40 people in this tiny living room, right? You were there, Toby. Jeremy, you've been there, that table. And I asked it, and Mamish, it was so tamim. It was like someone Mamish raised their hand and said, like such a disgusting thing about themselves. And some people started giggling out of nerves because they were like, not out of what, huh? Yeah, they weren't laughing chasvan at the person. They were just, it makes you uncomfortable, It makes you so uncomfortable when such emes is put right in your face. But it's chak sara b'kirba, it's a natural reaction. You just start giggling, right?
I mean, I have, without saying whether I have or not, there are people who, it's not, maybe this is to say that it's not a mila, they act this way, but I know plenty of people who, they destroy themselves over the clothes that they carry.
Nachon, but that's not a mila either.
Right.
There's nothing very, some would say like, someone sat here yesterday and said, no, I do. When I'm a bad boy, I do not let myself eat. I said to him, that's your issue. Meaning, that's not something we're trying to say and be like, that's what we're aiming towards.
Spiritual suicide.
We're not trying to get to there. Yeah, you have to be in check. But he's saying over here, you can even kind of be in check with yourself Because you know what's going on. And yet you still love yourself. So if that's true with yourself, that is that's kamocha. That's the love that the Torah is sending us towards. That you could know of someone else's blemishes, shortcomings, dark spots. But that should have nothing to do with the love that you have for the person. This is the ultimate. This is the ultimate. This is what we're here. This is 9 days. This is 9 days Torah. This is Ahavas Chinam. This is what it really is. Let's continue inside. We're in the 4th line. Ki mipnei ha'ahava hagdola asher hu ohev me'od et עצמו. Because of the great love that a person has for himself. And I don't have to prove to you that you have this because you're all sitting here. You all chose to be in Eretz Yisrael. You know? You all chose to get married and start families. And there's got to be some element of loving yourself. So he says, because of this great love that a person has for himself, al kol psha'av, no matter how many psha'im that he has, יודע בדעתו, that he knows how bad he's been. תכסה אהבה בבחינת מקיף. This is very important for Chassidus in general, Kabbalah in general. There is a concept called makif. Makif means surrounding. The Alter Rebbe, it's to learn Tanya, these are concepts you have to understand. There's makif and then there's more pnimi. Right? There's memale and sovev. Sovev means surrounding. Makif means lahakif, to surround something. He says over here, Al kol psha'av she'odea b'da'ato techaseh ahava b'vchinat makif. The love that you have surrounds you on a level of makif, that it kind of just hovers over you, and it's enough to keep on going on. It's almost like the general state of love that we have for ourselves is like a bubble of love. And we don't have to go inside all the time, because if we went inside all the time and just looked at the horrible things we have, without this ahava of makif, without this love that's surrounding, we couldn't do it. We couldn't do the job.
And what is that love that's surrounding? Is that sort of like, well, listen, Kadosh Baruch Hu made my yetzer hara. He made me the way that I am. So even if I have failures, it's not really my fault. So He's made me that.
Could be.
No, or is it the love that we spoke about yesterday?
I think it's more that one, but again, I don't want to label that exactly, because if that's what you need to tune into in order to feel that love of makif, I can't tell you no.
Well,
right?
what was the thing from yesterday?
The ahava.
Just the basic, the natural instinct to take care of ourselves, which that is loving ourselves.
That's what we were getting to yesterday. That's why we began shir again today. This general natural, like when I wake up in the morning, and I have to relieve myself. We're talking the Shem Talmud Torah, right? Why do I relieve myself? Because it'll feel good. Why would I do something that feels good? Because I naturally love myself. Meaning that's the kind of love we were speaking about yesterday. And that could be a makif kind of way of relating to this concept of love. So the Tzemach Tzedek is saying here, that kind of love that we're speaking about, that doesn't allow me to completely be paralyzed from bad traits that I have in myself. Because I generally want to take care of myself. I might get confused in the inside of it, of how I should actually do it. That's where we kind of become crazy. That's where we actually become insane, right? How does it work? What does Hashem want me to do right now? What's the right thing? All the decision makings. That's pnimi. That's memale. On a makif level, what surrounds me is a general notion that I'm going to go to the bathroom when I need to, I'll eat when I'm hungry, and I'll sleep when I'm tired. So you're saying those are all physical levels, but we know that in this world all those things are intertwined with ourselves. Like if we really, really hated ourselves, really we wouldn't allow ourselves to indulge in any physical pleasures. If it was for real. So he's saying over here, this is the ahava of makif. This is the surrounding love that prevents you from freaking out, lehitpa'el, when you see a chov, when you see a debt in yourself, a debt that you owe. Shelo yumshach mina yedi'ah liyidei hitpa'alut b'midot. Okay, next page. Shayedi'ah lo tashpi'a leregashot. Now this is something that's Vaso Lubavitch. So he says over here in the parentheses here, Shayedi'ah lo tashpia al regashot, that what I know about myself won't influence my regesh, my emotions. Do you guys see it inside? Eli, do you have it? Yeah, sheyedi'ah lo tashpia al regashot. This is so amazing. So the Tzemach Tzedek says, the Heilige Rebbe says like this, V'lachein ein tofsim mokom klal yispar mizeh. And therefore, because I have a way that my feeling, that which I know doesn't really affect my emotions, like, yeah, I know that I'm schmutzig here. I know I still watch those dirty things when I shouldn't, but that doesn't, I still am able to function in a spiritual world, in a Jewish world. How could that be? This is the love we're talking about that you have for yourself. וזהו שאינו רואה חוב לעצמו. And this person that doesn't see a חוב to himself, שנשקע ונתבטל באהבה רבה המכסה על כל הפשעים בבחינת מקיף. Because the חוב, the debt that you're indebted with, right? That bill that you have to pay, somehow it's nishka, it sinks, and nitbatel, it becomes nullified in this huge love, ahava rabba, hamechasa al kol hapsha'im, which covers over all pesha, all sin, transgressions, bad things, bivchinas makif, on the level of makif, that it's surrounding. How are we so far?
It's a great English expression, but love covers a multitude of sins.
Love covers a multitude of sins. But is that right?
In this sense,
Right.
yeah, it's
Right.
true.
Is it true? Yeah, that's the question. Is it true? Do any of you buy what the Tzemach Tzedek just said right now? You feel like he's being a total cop-out. Come on.
You lost me on the last, when we turned the page.
Yeah.
Just, can you go over that again?
The end of the last page was Shelo yumshach min hayedi'ah liyidei itpa'alut b'midot. Mashiach, you shouldn't be drawn from that which you know, that you're aware of bad places you're in or things you've done. Basically, you're not drawing from there and saying, now this is what I'm going to think about myself.
You're staying on that surrounding level.
That surrounding level of makif is such a powerful tool. It's innate. It's something we were raised with. It's something that's in our teva, he's saying. It's a makif. It's not something you built or you created. This is something that was given to each person, to each nefesh elokit. All right? Is that okay? Chavra, if it's not okay, I have zero interest in moving on. I want to be clear. I'm not trying to conquer text. If what we're trying to learn right now isn't sitting inside the mishkan of our heart, there's no point in moving forward. So when I say, if we're good, I really want to know as a chavra, can we move forward? Or is there something that's still edging you? Because when I first learned this, I was bugging out every second. Because I kept on saying the word, what does he mean? He wants me to be a cop-out? He wants me to be a cop-out? Till I realized what he's saying is like it's not conscious even.
It's just what happens.
Yeah, it's not something you've cheshboned out and say, love conquers all and I'm ignoring my chataim. He's saying you can live in a state of knowing about your dark places, you know about it here. However, that really does not affect the way that you treat yourself, which is the opposite with how you are with other people. Because when you know the same thing about yourself, about other people, it's amazing how much it's mashpia on what you think of them and how you treat them. What a crazy thing. If you yourself needed tzedakah, sorry, one second, I just thought about this right now. If you yourself need tzedakah, right? You need tzedakah so badly. And you had a way of getting it, right? Would you think twice? No. A guy knocks on your door, please show me all your papers. First thing we're thinking. Where are you from? Do you serve in the army? Are you Tzioini? What? Yeah. I saw you yesterday. Why are you using a credit card thing? When you travel to America to collect tzedakah, do you fly business? Like we have all these cheshbonos already before, right? The guy knocked on our door, right? What about us knocking on our own doors? Do we go through that process? Never. And we need tzedakah all the time. Kamocha, v'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. I know it's a stretch, guys. This is like a big stretch of the normal way that we express love. This is how Hasidus, this is what Lubavitch is telling us. You see, when a guy is putting tefillin on someone in an airport or something, you think he's cheshboning out, does this guy deserve to be attached to the aura himself by putting on tefillin? He's part of me. He's part of me. I don't cheshbon out for myself. The privilege of being connected to Or Ein Sof.
I watched that documentary that Yossi's been telling us
Oh,
about.
you watched it. I have to see it.
You have to see the pashtus of this Chabadnik in Hungary.
It's about this Hungarian member of, what was he, member of Senate?
He was like, yeah, he was one of the leaders
the mayor.
of this neo-Nazi.
Found out he's Jewish.
Found out he's Jewish, and his party turns on him because it turns out it's true. His grandmother was Jewish.
He was the number 2 guy.
He was, yeah, but he was
He
like
was one of the top guys, I think.
coming guy.
Jovic or something?
Yeah, Jovic, yeah. And the pashtus of this Chabadnik.
It wasn't a cheshbon.
And he describes it. He says, I came in, I felt like I was a gladiator walking into the
Lion's Den.
and this rabbi came up to me, extended his right hand, and he said to me, you've done some very bad things, but I'm here to help you.
It's kind of what we say to ourselves in the mirror in the morning. You've been a bad boy, but I'm here to remind you who you are. This is the ultimate Ahavat Yisrael. Can you guys imagine if we lived like this for one day? If for one day, we took one day to look at other people like this, other people that are not like us. Don't give me Efrat resonance.
We don't do it.
Maybe for a few minutes, yeah.
When you see someone who's like Chal Shabbos throughout the year, the whole thing davening.
Oh,
and then
he shows
like,
up right.
Exactly.
Right.
But what about going one day with sticking with that love for ourselves?
No, that's there.
Well,
No, but
it's
that.
there, but we got to get through the day with that in mind.
But that's what I'm wondering. Is it something that has to be in mind, or is he just pointing out something that exists anyway?
Right.
You know,
It's like your ability to breathe. You
yeah,
breathe. You don't
yeah.
think about it.
It's there. But he's saying that alludes to like the way the human body was built, is that there's some kind of innate love of nurturing that you don't even have to think about. He's saying, "V'ahavta kamocha." This is it's the kamocha. That's he keeps on bringing us back to the word kamocha, like you take care of yourself. Yeah, Ellie. Sorry, I cut you off before.
He's describing a natural suspension of judgment that we all have in regards to ourselves.
Right.
Somehow there's this disconnect. I've done all these things. I know I've done all these things. It doesn't affect how I actually relate to myself in the slightest.
Right.
I mean, sometimes it does, but we look at those people as a little neurotic.
Uh-huh.
Right? In the natural world, I just go ahead with what I go ahead with.
Right.
And then he moves into the prescriptive. Okay, now take that.
And apply that, yeah.
But the thing that's crazy is I remember, we look at this as brand new, but there are Gemaras all over the place. I can't remember which Rav comes to his students. He says, you saw me go here and here and here. What did you think?
Oh, right. Who was that? Yeah, who was that? Was it Rav Ashi?
I don't remember. And they said, oh, we thought you were, and they make some kind of crazy excuse, like in his favor. He says, that's exactly what happened.
Right.
And he says, and I saw it, and I did this and this and this, and what did you think? And they make some crazy excuse to done stuff screw. Right? And he said, that's exactly what happened. And you read it, so you're reading the Gemara, and you say, you got it.
Right.
But
that's what happened. Yeah.
And that's the point, that they should be looking at it like this, that they got it.
They were trying, right, and
they were trying to down the house in a situation where you would look at this normally and you say, you can't be done
right.
without being completely phony.
Right. There's no way. It's impossible unless you're fake. That's the hanacha. That's the havamina. Yeah. Yeah. We should learn that Gemara again inside. We have to find it. I for some reason Rav Ashi's name sticks out. Could be I'm wrong, but okay. Let's look back inside. Second paragraph. וכאשר יראה זולתו על החוב שלו ויבין אותו, ירגז מאוד, אף על פי שיודע בעצמו שאמס הוא. Now what happens when someone else looks at me and he sees that blemish? What happens to me? I freak out. Who are you to look at me that way? But I do that all the time. You can't look at me like that. I know what's wrong with me. You can't know what's wrong with me. והיינו לפי שעיקר רוגזו אינו על עצם הפחיתות. What angers you is not the fact that there's some kind of low level happening. שחברו מדמה שקר. שהרי יודע שאמס הוא. He's not angry at his friend that he's making up a lie. He knows it's true, what you were called out on. רק על שידיעת חברו את פחיתותו, הוא בחינת יש בהתפעלות. When my friend calls me out on one of the things that I myself know about myself, I freak out. That makes me freak out. Knowing it on my own, that doesn't make me freak out. That doesn't cause a hitpalut. But when you know that about me, that's when it starts to really hurt me. He's saying over here, it's not like a friend discovers something and reveals to you, do you know that this is who you are? He's basically aware of that which you know as well. But when he knows something bad about me, it freaks me out. I can know about my blemishes. You have no right to.
But people aren't always self-aware.
When they are, right? These are moments of
Most people aren't
self-awareness.
self-aware.
So he's giving kavschus that people are more self-aware. I don't know. I don't know. The typical Jew in Lubavitch, how he was. I think the typical Jew in Lubavitch was very self-aware. If you sat by the Mittler Rebbe and then you had the Tzemach Tzedek, you're living a life of consciousness. You're living in total awareness. מה שאין כן כשהוא יודע, אהבה מכסה. Meaning, when I know about myself, the love is somehow able to just cover. But that love, right, that covers over my ability to not freak out from my own blemishes, doesn't cover over when someone else is aware of it as well. That's very interesting. Do you guys follow that last line? When I know about myself, the love is strong enough to hover over and not allow me to freak out from that which I know. But when it happens to someone else knowing about it, there's like suddenly, or if I know about someone else's, suddenly there's naturally not enough love to just say, it's okay, there's so much love between us, I can know everything bad about you and it won't affect the way I think about you.
Also because personally, there's circumstances explain.
Right, so what does it mean? You could justify it
exactly
instantly.
And when someone else knows, you don't have a chance to defend, these are all reasons why this happened in this situation.
Right, and when you know about someone else's...
They're just making a snap judgment, they're looking at the final result, and they're not knowing...
But with us, how many times did we justify not davening Mariv when we realized we didn't daven Mariv late at night in bed, and we're so tired? What were all the justifications? We can come up with a whole sefer of justifications of why it's probably Ratzon Hashem that I shouldn't daven Mariv right now. Huh? It's Rishus. First of all, please. And it's Keneged Yaakov Avinu. My Zayda Helig Zayda Yaakov. Would he want me to get out of bed right now? He would probably come and adjust my pillow and say, oh, my kind, it's okay. Meaning, now, let's say I found out that guy, he didn't get up for Mariv last night. He was so tired. Do I go there? You know who went there? Rabbi Yitzchak went there. He'd see a guy like that and he would instantly... He had enough ahavas makif on Am Yisrael to look at all Yidden and say, love, And Rabbi Shlomo Karlbach Olav Hashem lived like this. Say whatever you want to say about him. When you figure out that kind of love that he had for Yidden, maybe then you could open your mouth about anything else he did. But if he chose to tell, he lived his life. The love was big enough to hover over other people's blemishes. That's how he lived. And that's how, I think that's exactly Rav Kook as well. It doesn't chas v'shalom justify not doing something. But what it does do is that it doesn't justify any hatred. And it doesn't allow you to go to that place of saying, by him love shouldn't conquer all, but by me it's totally fine. Kamocha. Ve'ahavta l'recha kamocha. מה שאין כן כשהוא יודע אהבה מכסה, וירגש על חברו, על ההסגלות שגילה חברו החוב שלו, מתוך הסתר וכיסוי אהבה, שהייתה מכסה עליו ולא היה נראה כלל, ועתה אצל חברו נראה ליש ודבר מה. I have a חוב, you have a חוב. I know about my own חוב, it doesn't cause any uproar. Love subdues it. You have a chov, you're a human being just like me. But in my mind, for some reason, your chov makes me freak out. And when you find out about me, that really drives me nuts too. Who are you to know about me? Then the judgments start running like crazy. He says, this is exactly the problem, and that's why the Torah uses the word kamocha. Because the Torah knows that on a level of avoda, you don't have to work hard on ignoring certain bad parts of yourself to still love yourself. But you have to work hard when you view someone as separate from you to apply it. So what's the real avoda here? Instead of remembering this all the time, that's why he began the whole Maimar saying, what are we? We're one big body. Focus on that. Focus on the fact that Sod Guf Echad is a real thing. And when you're living a consciousness of Sod Guf Echad, you don't have to actively reactivate the Kamocha button all the time. You know why? Because it'll just be natural for you. Just like it's natural for you to kind of let the love subdue the dark places that would bring you to judgment. Eventually, with such a consciousness, this is how you will live a life amongst Am Yisrael, when you visualize and you see that we're only separated by being physical beings.
Could it also be like the Yetzer Hara inside of you? Like it doesn't showcase your bad stuff because that just helps you do tshuva. But when it showcases other people's bad stuff, that makes you do worse things.
Correct.
So like, there's no struggle inside of you because it's like, fine, don't look at your body.
Right.
It's like I'm, like,
Right.
you know.
Right. Probably is. That's why the Torah knows of that Yetzer Hara, so it says, look, the Torah never says, V'ahavta es atzmachem. You ever realize that? There's no mitzvah. The Torah never says, V'ahavta et atzmachem.
There's no struggle.
Because the Yetzer Hara is not, that's not where it's at. It's there in a different way. On the level of makif, it's not there. On the level of memale, it is. But on the level of the love of makif, of this like surrounding kind of love that can mechasa al pshayim, that could kind of allow me to not indulge in my sins, or think that that's who I am, that's where it is. But on the level of pnimi, I would say that the Yetzer Hara does come. And inside says to you, it's not, look, you really love yourself? Yeah.
I don't know if it's too off the map, but I was just thinking about this is spiritual physics. He says that when the other person sees it in me, it makes it real. Right?
Right.
It's wild language. He says,
It seems like it's actually something.
like it's real.
Right.
So I live in this Heisenberg world of uncertainty, where
Right.
everything's kind of mushy and messy, and I don't really pay attention to it. When somebody sees it, it's like, is there a tree that falls in the forest and there's nobody there, did it fall, right? All of a sudden, I'm not moving in the world of waves anymore. It's a particle. Boom! I know the position. It's real.
Right.
And that makes me crazy. I have to focus on it. Somebody pointed it out, and now I'm
Now it's, yeah. That's interesting. But it's not real by me.
Yeah.
Doesn't
It wasn't
really
real by me until he made it real.
Until he made it real
Now
by
I
me.
resent him like nothing else.
It's gewalt. How many we do resent people that call us out on things, that you hate those people more than anything. The Bnei Machshavatova Chabura world is a tikkun in that place. But I can only not resent you if kamocha, if I love you because I love you like I love myself on the makif level. Okay, let's finish this. V'zeu, now we understand. Ma desani lach gilui zeh. Now he goes back to Hillel's answer. He says, that which is hated upon you, this revelation of what? What revelation is he speaking about? The chov, the debt, when it's revealed to you, l'chavercha lo tavid. Don't do that to your friend. This is amazing. Shelo tir'eh chovothav ufsha'av. That when you look at him, you're not looking, the things that are bad about him don't become real to you. That's why he used this lashon of that which is hated upon you, which is what? That the disgusting things that I do become in my face. That's not the way you should look at other people. L'chavercha lo tavid. That's exactly how you shouldn't act when it comes to others. Shelo tir'eh chavotav uv'pshav. Hen b'milei de'alma, whether it's worldly matters, b'dvarim sheben adam lachavero, whether it's between how people are between each other, v'hen b'milei dishmaya, and also regarding spiritual matters, liyesh udvar ma, that you make his chovos real and big things in the world and existing. Just like you were able to not do that for yourself, same way that the love that was strong enough for you to not make your shortcomings a reality, big, so too with others. Rather, your love for another person should be so big, until it actually covers his pshayim too. לבוא להתפעלות במידות, I want to explain the last few words here. This is classic Lubavitch text, okay? We're going to hopefully start swimming in the Tanya and Elul. So it's good to learn these concepts. ולא תניח אותם מן הידיעה, לבוא להתפעלות במידות. First of all, what's התפעלות? להתפעל, what does that mean? להתפעל. Benjamin, how would you say it in English?
In modern English, it's like to be amazed, to be activated.
To be activated. Thank you. That's the word we're looking for. This is the secret. This is it. This is the word. This is the word. Activate. What is he saying over here? That which you know shouldn't activate your feelings, your midot. Now we'll learn it a different way. All those things that I know, which then activated emotions, how I feel about people, I give you here mechila, Yom Kippur. For all those things that I know, it's amazing how much the knowledge of my own shortcomings don't activate a level of hatred or self-judgment. But when it's with other people, that which I know about them, the yedi'ah, mitpa'el, and it's maf'il et hamidot. It activates the emotions.
Well, it's like when you have a friend, he does annoying stuff, it doesn't bother you so much. But if you have a random person who does annoying stuff, the same things, it bothers the heck out of you.
Try that right now. A guy in shul that's talking that you know. Does it bother you?
Not because you're a good friend. Not as
You'll
much,
find a
not
way,
as much
right,
as
right,
someone
right,
else.
right.
As
You'll
a
find,
random,
right.
If you really like the person, it just doesn't
Right.
bother you as much.
There's no activation. So let's now get to the root of it. What activates?
Because you love your friend
Because
more
the
than a random
love,
person. So
the
it
love
covers
somehow.
up.
So what does the love do? It deactivates, or it just doesn't?
No, it covers.
It covers up. There's no reason for hitpal. Yeah, on the midos over here, he's translating as emotions.
He knows
Right.
midos, and
Right.
that,
Right.
Right.
reason-
Because if you didn't, you'd say I wouldn't be friends with him.
They have
Right.
good capital. Like they.
That's
They got
now
money
we're
in the
talking.
bank.
Yeah, they got money in the bank. So, and it's amazing how it's. I see this all the time. You know, we could be at concerts, and if the guy that I know has funded one of my albums or whatever it is, right? I'll let him interrupt and talk and whatever it is. Why? He's got money in the bank. No, I'm talking like. I mean, it's never happened. I should find a rich guy to come and fund my albums. There's schus there. What's the schus there? Capital. It's amazing. So he's saying that it's exactly what he's saying over here, but he's calling us out like crazy. This mamar, this discourse, the Tzemach Tzedek is calling humanity out. He's calling spiritual beings out. He's calling everyone out. Check yourself the next time Mashiach comes to the door. What happens? What gets activated instantly? And then see the next time you're in need of something. See if there's any activation of midos. No. There's clearly, I have an idea, and there's a need, and it gets fulfilled.
There the language is ma'avir al midota.
Ma'avir al midotav. Very good. That's amazing. Ma'avir al midotav. That means he what? He passes over the activation button, which would then infuse emotions to now start to get confusing. That's amazing. Ma'avir al midotav. Can I give homework?
Yeah.
One person in the whole room said, can I give homework? Yes. Everyone else is freaking out. Right, you can.
He's good
That's
for his friends.
That's why teachers don't ever ask, can I give you homework, right? But you know, when you learn a Torah like this, it hurts when you don't, it actually hurts you when it's not activated. It actually hurts you to think right now that I could learn a Torah like this and this to not affect my life. It doesn't it hurt? Isn't it? You almost would rather not learn this stuff, right? So, I know we're doing a Breslover thing on a Lubavitch Torah right now, but it's like, I don't know how else to understand my own life, right? So,
They're not even truly inconsistent.
right. No, especially here, is that I'm also going to send this out to our chevra on the WhatsApp, when I send it out, whoever it is in the chabura. Before tomorrow morning's shir, I want each person to write a paragraph, a prayer over this teaching. Who Well, I'm asking again, who agrees? I should dictate to you. I'm a kohen. I should say, you must do this right now, right? I'll spark it up right now. But saying, can we, like, this is, you want to activate this Torah, or we'll keep it up here? So, I know you're petrified from this, but, you know, in Elul we're going to have a lot of homework just like this. It's going to be homework of making up tefillahs. That's what it's really going to be. So, can we do this? One paragraph? One paragraph. You don't even have to share it. You could. I hope you would want to give us chizuk, right?
Large font, double space.
Now here we go. Here we go. And I'm just saying already, right? No dogs are eating your homework, okay? Because it's going to be digital. You're not writing it on any pieces of paper. So unless your dog swallows your iPhone, dogs did not eat up your homework, okay? Is that okay? It's amazing. Jeremy's still the only one that said yes. I've said, is it okay 5 times? No one's answered.
I was really looking forward to Elul till this started happening.
Elul started early this year.
We're supposed to turn this in?
I would hope that there's enough love for each other in our chabura that you'd want to turn it in. All right? So I'm basically saying, I'm asking to please do this. I'm going to do this as well. 1 paragraph, 3 lines, nothing, 2 lines. Just a tefillah over asking Hashem for help to live like this, because this is Mashiach. It's Pasha, this is Mashiach, though.
I mean, it's so obvious that's what's happening now. That these people are going through a lot of pain in their funerals, and it's like cutting open our hearts, like lamul et lelbab, in order that we feel more love to Am Yisrael. We're not feeling it enough. So
We're not, right.
You don't feel it on your own.
Right.
Let me make you feel it. There's more pain, until we can just like, no, let's just do it on our own. Let's just love each other on our own. We don't need it like an external push to feel that our enemies need to come against us in order that we unite. We can just unite proactively, that we choose to unite. Not because they're trying to destroy us, so we unite.
Amen. All right, so I'm gonna send out reminders at a certain point today. And I think that this will take this moment to the next level in our lives. Because who doesn't want to live like this? Who doesn't want to live like this? But we don't know how to. Let's be real. We don't really know how to do what he just said right now. We need a lot of help. We need a lot of Seder D'Shmaya. We need a lot of help from Hashem. So much help from Hashem to live like this. So if we have enough chutzpah to learn Torahs like this, because it's chutzpah to learn this, that's how I feel. It's holy chutzpah, but it's a chutzpahdik thing to say, I can learn this Torah. So with that chutzpah comes an achrayus, comes a responsibility. Big one. Because this is the hardest thing. Because we're all addicted to social media, all of us. And social media is triggering the opposite of this Torah all day long into our minds. Yes. And we're activating our thoughts among people based on all the media that's triggered into our psyche, into our mind. So we need, this is the nisayon of our door. So I know none of you are going to throw away your iPhones today. I'm not either. What we're not going to do is now say the world doesn't exist. That's not what we're here to do either. The world does exist, and we're in the world.
If you see that, it's kind of like when you're trying to, I don't know, let's use diet as an example. You stay away from certain foods, or like, you won't go to that restaurant because you know what will happen there. It may end up that,
certain things have to be.
That Facebook and Twitter are,
careful, you guys getting nervous?
I'm either unfollowing 1 million people, or I'm not even going on there.
Right.
I'm sorry, I went even that far.
And it's documented in a few ways right now. We're going to continue tomorrow, boys and girls. Shar koach.